Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to look at algebra long division. So before we kind of get into the algebra long division, we want to think about long division without algebra. So if we take, for example, 294 and we divide it by 14. So if we think about the process that we have to go through in order to follow this. So the first step that we would carry out is the division step. Okay, so we take 294 and we divide it by divide, for example, 29 by 14. So 29 divided by 14, it'll go in 2 times, like so. And so that's the first step. Okay, so we have the division step. We take 29 and we divide it by 14 and we put the answer up here. The next step then is the multiplication step. So I take this 2 and I multiply it by 14 and I put the answer underneath here. So 2 multiplied by 14 will give me 28. Okay, so we've done the division step and then we've done the multiplication step. So then what I do is I take away the 28 from the 29, take 28 from the 29. So 29 minus 28 will leave me with 1. Okay, so that's the subtraction step. And then we do the carry down step. Okay, so we carry down this 4. We bring this down here. Okay, so that's and then what we do is we repeat the step. Okay, repeat this cycle again. So for example, 14 divided by 14 gives me 1. We put the 1 up here. So that's the second division step. Then we do the multiplication. 1 multiplied by 14 gives me 14. Okay, then I do the subtraction step again. So the subtraction step, I subtract these from each other and it leaves me with 0. And then there's nothing else to carry down, so that's it. So 14 will divide into 294 21 times. And the interesting thing as well is that we can take these two here, and these are what are called a factor pair of 294. Okay, so 14 multiplied by 21, that's a factor pair. So that will give me 294. So if I take 294 and divide it by 14, I'll get 21. If I take 294 and divide it by 21, I'll get 14. And if I multiply these together, I get 294. So they're what are called a factor pair. So what we do now is we follow this exact same procedure that we follow for long division without algebra for long division of algebra expressions. So let's do that now. Okay, so let's take the same process and we will divide this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to write out our term. So we take the longer part or the bigger expression. So 2x so the 2x squared minus 8x minus 24. And what we do is we divide that by the smaller term. So we do it exactly the same way we've done the long division with the numbers over here. So we do x plus 2. Okay, so then what we have to do is we have to go through our steps. So we go through exactly the same steps as we went through here. So we take 2x. So the first stage is the division step. Let me just do this in a different color. So we have to do the first division step. So what do we divide? So it's going to be 2x squared divided by x. So 2x squared divided by x will just give me 2x. Okay, so that's the division step. Then we do the multiplication step. So it's going to be 2x multiplied by x plus 2. So 2x multiplied by x gives me 2x squared. 2x multiplied by plus 2 gives me plus 2x, sorry, plus 4x, should I say. Okay, so that's the second multiplication step. So that's the second multiplication step. Then what I want to do is the subtraction step. So I'm subtracting the bigger part by the smaller part here. So we subtract these from each other. So 2x squared minus 2x squared, they cancel out, they give me 0. So minus 8x minus plus 4. Now you need to be careful with the signs here. So we have this sign here, which is subtract. Okay, and then we have these signs here in front of the numbers, which indicate whether they're negative or positive integers. So this would become, so it would be minus 8x minus 4x. Okay, minus 8x minus 4x is going to leave us on minus 12x. Minus 12x. Okay, like so. And that's the subtraction step. So then what we do is we do the carry down step. So we carry this down here. So it's going to be minus 24. Now what we do is we repeat this cycle and we start at the start again. We do the division step. So again, we take this x here and we divide it by this x term here. So minus 12x divided by x is just going to give me minus 12. And then we do the multiplication step. So we've done the division step again. So we do the multiplication step then. So minus 12 by x gives me minus 12x. Minus 12 by plus 2 gives me minus 24. Okay, and then we do the subtraction step. So the subtraction step. So again, just be careful with the signs. So you have the subtraction piece here. Okay, so it's going to be minus 24 minus 12. Okay, so minus 12x, then minus 12x. So this is a double negative, so this becomes minus 12x plus 12x, which is just equal to 0. Okay, so these two cancel out, so that would be 0. Now we have minus 24 minus 24. So we have minus 24 minus 24, which is equal to, that becomes minus 24 plus 24, which is equal to 0. Okay, so that cancels out then as well. So that's the last subtraction step, and then there's no carry down step. So again, we go through exactly the same steps as we went through in order to do the long division using the numbers here. We use exactly the same step and the same process to do the long division with the algebraic expressions. And the interesting thing then as well is that these two terms here, so 2x minus 12 and x plus 12, or x plus 2 should I say. So these are the factor pairs for this expression here. So if you multiply these by each other, it will give you this. If I take this expression and I divide it by this, my answer will be this. Okay. If I take this expression and divide it by this, my answer will be this, just like what we've done here. And that's exactly the same with these guys here. Okay, so if I take this and I divide it by this, it'll give me 21, like what we've done here. If I take this divided by 12, it'll give me 14. So there's that link in relation to long division that carries through the whole way. So that is algebra long division. That's the steps of algebra long division. You have division, multiplication, subtraction, and carry down, and you follow through in that process. Okay, thank you for listening.